She's already on foot. You're adorable. Hi.
Already. Okay. Ooh, let me just get this in.
How are you, Trooper? Oh, you look so gorgeous. Look, you look amazing. You wake up at 2 a.m.
Stop it. I know.
Super Trooper.
3.5 hours sleep. I'm like...
You look amazing. And your energy levels, as if you've had like 9 hours sleep.
Let's not talk about it.
Do you need a coffee or anything? Oh, I actually bought snacks.
Oh my god, you're so cute. I didn't even get into that.
Hey, it's a decent drive for someone that didn't know.
I cannot believe you've come to get me. I'm so impressed. I felt so bad. My mom's like, you're an idiot. I'm like, thanks, Mom.
Have you ever flown into this airport before? Or?
No, I didn't even know Melbourne had 2 airports.
Oh, there you go. We're big enough to have 2.
We're big enough to have 2 airports. I'm impressed.
It's literally out of the bush. Nice way.
I tried to sleep on the plane, and then when it's like we're landing, and I looked in, I was like, don't see anything, okay? Right? Yes.
How was the flight over?
It was good, actually. I was, Morgan kept telling me how, where was I flying? Jetstar. I kept telling my Uber driver this morning, EasyJet. That's my European flight.
Oh, okay. I was like, hold on, we don't have an EasyJet here.
And he's like, who are you flying with? I'm like, EasyJet.
Which terminal is that?
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, okay, and he's like looking at the sun. I'm like, oh, it's not on this one, it's fine. Just we're at Terminal 2 there, just drop me at Terminal. And I'm like, why can't I see EasyJet? And like Jetstar's right in front of my face. And I'm like, hang on a second, EasyJet's my flight to London.
Speaking of London, a little birdie told me some exciting news. Are you willing to share the inside goss?
Well, yeah. Are we sharing London news or are we sharing LA news?
I don't know about both. Share both. It's the cat's out of the bag.
The cat's out of the bag. Yeah, I'm not too quiet about the whole London news. I'm coming to London. Yeah, no, I got booked for this job in Italy, so I fly off on the 28th of Jan. Which I'm super excited about because I love Italy. Italy's like my home from home. So, yeah, I've always wanted to kind of officially shoot there, like on a job and that. So I finally get to do it. And then, yeah, the other major exciting news is I've signed to an agency.
Claps.
That's the deal. Yeah, so I've submitted my visa, sent it all off. It got submitted on the 23rd of December.
So you're making the big move as well?
I'm moving, yeah. So as soon as my visa gets approved, touch wood, there's no
prior convictions.
There's a whole life people don't know about me. Yeah, so touch wood, everything's okay. I'll find out in a couple of weeks, actually, beginning of Jan, and then, yeah, I'll start looking to move over to LA.
How incredible. Have you actually lived abroad before?
Yeah, well, because I lived in London for 4 years. That's where I started modelling. And then I only moved back this year, so yeah.
See, I didn't know that about you. So, no, I didn't know you actually started off in London.
Yeah, I started in London.
So how did that all come about for you?
Gumtree.
Guess the backstory. Sorry, Gumtree. I've had Model Mayhem, now Gumtree. Some of these stories are
good old London town. Yeah, no, I'm still kind of, I'm sorry, this is a really beautiful view. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop. No, I'm just Snapchat this.
Go for it.
You know me, I love to talk, so I won't be playing anymore. It's actually really pretty. I'm kind of glad I put it in
sorry,
here now.
I should have slowed
down.
No,
it's perfect, don't worry. Yeah, Jesus, babe, what were you doing? There we go. Yeah, no, so I'm like the furthest thing from a model, or the most non-model model. No, so basically
run us through what you mean by that.
No, so basically I'm a farm girl at heart.
Ulladulla. Any fun facts about Ulladulla that you can tell us?
I come from there. Not really. It's small. We have one set of traffic lights.
A roundabout?
Oh, we have a shitload of roundabouts. Okay. Yeah, the whole town's full of roundabouts, but I like roundabouts. That's okay. I thought we only ever had 3 cabs, but now we're really fancy now. We have about 9, apparently.
Ooh.
So we're stepping up.
Stepping up in the world.
And our one set of traffic lights, it isn't even a proper, like, intersection. It's a T-intersection.
It was causing that much of a problem that it had to happen.
All it is,
my
yeah,
God.
that's also. We've got one pub, the Marlin, meat market. I avoid it, yeah.
That doesn't sound,
that explains everything,
that
right?
doesn't sound pretty.
Yeah.
Okay, so Aladella, kind of the beginnings of Tia Provost. Is it Provost?
How do you want to say
Yeah,
it, really?
How do you pronounce it?
Oh. How do I pronounce it? Tia Provost.
Provost, okay.
But, you know, everyone says it. I don't know. I'll answer to
I
whatever.
give it a bit of a, you know, European.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Depending on where someone's from, they'll say it differently. So, if I'm in France, they're all like, "Oh, Tia Provost." I'm like, "Yeah, you say it that way. I'll answer.
I'll roll with it.
Yeah. So it just depends. But yeah, no. And then I get distracted really easy, so you're gonna have to keep reminding.
It's okay. So, Gumtree.
Gumtree,
Does
yeah.
that trigger?
So I moved to London, and then I wasn't even in London yet because I went over 2012 about June, July, and I was traveling around France and Italy seeing friends, and then I worked on a farm in France. And then I was outside of London, I was in Banbury staying with some friends, just kind of using that as my base and traveling around England visiting people because I backpacked on and off for 3 years before I moved over. So, you know, I'd made all these different friends through my travels throughout the world, and I was like, oh, I'll just go visit them all before I settle in London. And I was looking on Gumtree for, you know, I'd never actually been on there, so I was like, okay, I'll go on, I'll look for, I had a very, I want to do, like, secretary PA type stuff.
Okay.
Very Sex and the City idea. I think I just finished watching all the seasons, and I was like, I want to do that. Yeah, I had a very Hollywood version of how it was going to go. So I was like, that's what I want to do.
Would you have purchased glasses just to finish off the look, or?
I think I would have had to get them, yeah. Even though I would have just, like, taken the lens out. I was just been like, yes. I got to do a shoot, actually, about a month ago where I got to wear glasses, and I was like, oh, yes!
My dreams come true!
I was loving it. But yeah, no, so, although I got really dizzy because they were actually, like,
prescription.
So, like, they're shooting, and then every time I was like, I just have to move them down, so I started to feel really ill.
What they make you do in shoots? Anyway, we'll chat about that later.
We'll get to the Gumtree so I was looking on Gumtree, like, just for somewhere to live, like, just start getting an idea, and I started seeing these ads for plus size model, and I was like, huh? And then I saw another, and then I saw another. I saw about 4 ads, and I was like, what the hell is a plus size model?
Okay.
I was like, what is this? And I saved them, and I was just kind of like, for about a week. I was like,
Is this something dodgy behind doors, or?
Yeah, I'd never heard of it before, and I was just, and as I said, I was completely not even aware of that world. Aware of it, but didn't want to have anything to do with it or be a part of it. And and then that was on a Monday, and then on Friday that week I was like, you know what, bugger it, what's the worst they can say? No, you're exactly where you are, like, you don't know unless you ask type of thing, you never know.
Perfect attitude to have.
Yeah, so I sent it all off, like an email off, and I just sent off because they were all like, you know, you need pictures. And I was like, what? So I just took like travel selfies. So I sent them travel selfies, you know. And this is when I always smiled in photos.
Oh, the innocence.
The innocence, right? So I'm just like, and it's basically like the body shots I sent them were more like of the scenery. Me in this like mountain.
And this cheesy smile.
Yeah, basically. So that's what I sent off, and by the end of the day all 4 had contacted me and were like, we want you, or we want to meet you, da-da-da.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, they were probably all fake agencies and a bit dodgy, but hey, it got me into into modelling, so yeah. Then obviously, like, once I got to London, because one was like, you need to pay a deposit for a student, and I was like, whoa, like, this is just all a bit suspect, so trust your gut. So I was like, I don't know anything about this world, but this seems wrong to me, like, it seems sus. So yeah, I just, like, left it, and then waited till I got into London, like, a week later, met with one of them, and I ended up, like, I paid for a shoot 2 days later, and it was way too expensive, but...
The shoot itself?
Yeah, the shoot itself.
Yeah.
But I'm actually okay with that because I'm like, you know what, I'd never worn makeup, I never wore heels, I'd never like had anything done, I'd never been in front of a camera in that sense, so...
God, so you were like in a parallel universe.
Yeah, after 2 shots, it was really heavy eye makeup too, and after 2 shots, I was like, Like, I could not. I was like, I have to get this shit off my face. And I felt like I couldn't be me because it was this English makeup can be really thick and heavy and cakey. Yeah. And this was, end of 2012. So this is 4 years ago now.
Before mineral makeup? Well, actually, it was probably just coming out.
Makeup, yeah, so it was very heavy. And I was just like... And the poor makeup artist as well, she's like, oh, what do you think? And I was just like staring at myself. And I was like, I just can't believe, because I always believed I looked really bad. Like I thought I looked ugly with makeup on. That's why I never wore it. So
okay.
And also I like to rub my face, and I felt like I couldn't do that. And
had no freedom to rub.
I couldn't be me. And as soon as like you can't do something, you want to do it. And I was like, yeah, it's like you're not allowed to move, you're not allowed to itch something.
Yeah,
you get really itchy.
Yeah, just, ants are crawling all over you.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. So no, it was I was happy to do that. That I paid that amount and got that because then, I like a month later I started researching a bit more and then found Hughes and I could send them those pictures and got. Okay.
Do you still use your original portfolio shots? Because I recall mine and they were awkward as hell.
Yeah, I look at them and I'm just like, oh.
Cringe.
Yeah, that's funny. I'm funny with pictures about me. I don't know.
Are you, how do you go about selecting? Do you normally select yourself, or
hell
is
no.
it your agency that selects it? Your photographer?
I used to just send everything to the agency.
Okay.
But then I didn't really understand some of the selects that they would pick. I was like, why are you picking that one? But I was just kind of like, oh, this is when I was all new, fresh off the field type thing. I was like, oh, it's, they're obviously seeing something that I'm not, but which is true. Everyone sees something different and that. But I personally like the photographer to pick.
Okay.
I say it depends on the photographer.
Type of relationship.
Yeah.
But
look, I've been really lucky with the people I work with. I either really get on with, or they're really good, or I really trust them in that. And you got to. I mean, it can be such an intimate thing when someone is taking pictures of you because they're catching you and you're trusting them to portray you in this way and da da da. So I'm lucky that who I work with does do that. I kind of avoid all the creepy ones, but there's a lot out there.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, yeah. But, so I normally like the photographer to do it because they look at the whole aspect, like, just everything. It's not just, oh, that's a good body position. It's, okay, is the hair looking good? Is this looking good? They look kind of magazine editorial ready, where everything needs to be on point. So I like that, but sometimes I'll pick some, like there may be some that I can't use necessarily for my portfolio, but I'd really love to use for my Instagram, and and that just comes down to, again, the relationship you have with the photographer, and if you can.
Yeah, and when it comes to airbrushing and things like that, what are your thoughts about all of that?
Do you know what, personally, if you want to airbrush me, airbrush me. If you don't want to airbrush me, don't airbrush me. I'm happy to post photos of myself unairbrushed. Yeah. But I understand that clients obviously want to produce the best image that they can to sell. At the end of the day, it's all about marketing, and it's all about selling a product. And you want it to look amazing. And certain clients still believe that they just want to give it that polish and that finishing touch. Fine, if that's what you want to do. But I do feel that real heavy, the face and the body and all that has actually gone out from when, it used to be when I first started. It was really, heavy retouching and liquefying on the body and everything. I do feel that's kind of gone out anyway, and majority of the time it's just, a light finish and things like that. And, we models, we travel a lot, so we can't get bags under our eyes and stuff like that. It's just, it happens.
24-hour plane ride and you're expected to shoot
and I
that
don't
morning.
sleep on planes, so I understand it, but also I always understood it that way. I've never looked at an advertisement image, even when I was younger, I thought models were bitches and stuck up, and that's why I never wanted to be a part of that industry. I was like, I'm definitely not that. The girls don't eat, they look sour all the time, and that's not me. So I'm like, I smile.
I love how honest you are, though. It's so
But so I would always look at an image, and I grew up in retail. When I was 6 years old, when I was in kindergarten, my mum bought a clothing store, and she had it through my whole school life. So I grew up in retail, but I saw it from the shop side and the warehouse side and all that. But I would look at advertisements, and I'd be like, yeah, it's a nice image, but I would understand that girl was not me and I was not her, and I'd understand that her body type is very different to my body type.
Okay.
And so I could distinguish and, you know, like kind of break it down and look at it and be like, yes, it's a beautiful image. However, I'm not going to hold myself to that standard. So
That's
kind of
incredible
did that.
because
Yeah,
like from a personal perspective, I think that's quite rare for a young girl or boy to be able to make that, you know,
the distinguish between. So I mean, that's why I'm not that. I know that probably some people will watch this and get maybe a bit upset over that, but I genuinely am not, because I'm like, you know, and again, it's the same thing with labels and that. I don't need to label myself to define myself. If you want to do it, fine, that's your prerogative. But
in regards to plus size, is
that
what you're referring to when you say
exactly.
labels?
Yeah, because there's such a massive kind of debate and discussion going about it. And look, when I introduce myself to someone, or when someone says, "What do you do?" I say model. Full stop. End of conversation.
Has anyone ever raised an eyebrow out of curiosity?
Yeah. Yeah. Not so much. To be honest, it's normally girls who do the whole look you up and down, and are just like, oh,
how's
you
that
model?
possible?
And but it's more, I feel it kind of becomes an envious / jealous type of thing, because I think everyone deep down kind of has had some sort of little fantasy with the idea about modelling, because it does seem very glamorous, and it does, and look, it is sometimes. Like, don't get me wrong, I love it, but so I think it's kind of that whole, and it's got the stigma about it. For guys as well, it's I was with a model thing, so it becomes this real, again, like labels, this stigma, this I got that. Yeah. I was with that. And for girls, it's like, oh, well, she's a model, so she's this and that, which is how I used to be. You know, I was like, oh, models there.
Your perception.
Yeah, it's that perception, people's perception. So, yeah, I mean, for me, if someone wants to call me a plus size, if that's what makes them feel comfortable, or if they have to call me curvy, fine. But I won't introduce myself that way, because I'm doing exactly the same job as everyone else. So, yeah, I don't see why we have to have that label.
Yeah, fair enough.
So